Today's program is brought to you by OTCStockShark.com. For the latest and greatest OTC and Pink Sheets information, sign up for your account at OTCStockShark.com. Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.
In today's financial news, stocks clawed back from deep in negative territory as the prospect of a settlement between Goldman Sachs Group and the SEC, as well as a Senate historic vote to pass financial regulation, removed several lingering market overhangs. BP's announcement that it had stemmed the flow of the oil in the Gulf of Mexico further bolstered sentiment. The Dow Jones Industrial Average settled down 7.34 points to 10,359. The decline snaps a 7-day rally that saw the blue chip index rise about 7%. After the market closed, Google posted rising profits but missed analysis estimates, dragging Google shares down 4.8% in after-hours trading to about $470.50. Google finished the trading day at $492.02. Shares of Goldman Sachs rose 4.4% and late in the day to close at $142.22 as speculation brewed of an agreement between Goldman Sachs and the SEC, fueling a late turnaround in the broader financial sector. Goldman's stock had traded as low as $137.82 earlier in the session. In today's international news, 5 medical assistants held down my arms and legs to keep me from moving. The report quoted a 24-year-old North Korean defector as saying, describing how his leg was amputated without anesthesia after a train accident. I was in so much pain that I screamed and eventually fainted from the pain. Other defectors told similar horrific stories. One said her appendix was removed without anesthesia and her hands and feet were bound to prevent her from moving during the procedure. Others told of entire cities with no ambulances. Drawn from interviews with more than 40 North Koreans who had defected over the past 6 years, as well as health professionals who had worked with North Koreans, the report depicted a North Korean healthcare system in dire straits. In today's tech news, the convicted Guns N' Roses uploader Kevin Coggle isn't the anti-piracy pitchman that the RIAA was hoping for. A year ago, the 29-year-old Los Angeles man was sentenced to 2 months in home confinement and a year of probation for uploading 9 unreleased tracks from the Guns N' Roses' Chinese Democracy to his music site. Federal prosecutors initially sought 6 months of prison, but Coggle got no time after agreeing to do an RIAA public service announcement that would scare future file sharers straight. But nobody has made him perform the PSA, and he is no longer under the court's jurisdiction, so the deal is no longer legally binding. Coggle said in a recent telephone interview, "I knew as soon as this went down that no one would care about me doing the PSA." The closest he came to providing the PSA was last August in a video interview with Current TV. He said file sharers can get into a lot of trouble. The proposed court order PSA was vaguely defined from the beginning. He said, "We had some conversations about it, hypothetical conversations." Coggle said, "I said everyone is going to laugh at it." In today's entertainment news, Carlos Santana returns to the site of the fabled 1969 festival for a concert at the New Arts Pavilion, just yards from the original stage where his band performed Soul Sacrifice during the 3 days of peace and music that helped define the end of the 1960s. According to promoters, it's the 65-year-old Grammy winner's first time playing there since that unforgettable performance. The 2,000-acre facility in upstate New York's Sullivan County is a performing arts center and a museum with a 15,000-seat concert space. The center includes the patch of land that hosted the original Woodstock Festival in August of 1969. Last week, during a tour stop in Illinois, Santana proposed on stage to his girlfriend, drummer Cindy Blackman, and of course, she accepted.
You're stuck on a treadmill. You're making minimum payments on your credit cards, and you just don't get anywhere. Let Consolidated Credit tell you the truth. When credit card companies are charging high interest, it's virtually impossible to pay off your debt. Let's say you owe $5,000 and your rate is 21%. Of your $100 minimum payment, $87 is interest. It'll take you over 33 years to pay off that debt. Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest. Get off the treadmill. Get on with your life. Call Consolidated Credit. They're the freedom people.
Call now, 1-800-775-8196. 1-800-775-8196.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, They're the solution.
In today's U.S. news, just a few days ago, Venetia Robinson believed her dreams were about to come true. Robinson paid $5 for a pendant in the shape of LeBron James' number 23 jersey at a yard sale 4 years ago. Robinson thought it was costume jewelry until she had it appraised and certified by International Gemological Institute, which said the diamond-studded gold jewelry was real and valued at nearly $10,000. The amateur boxer put the item up for sale on eBay, hoping to use the proceeds to open her own gym. Robinson said she got a phone call that turned her dream into a nightmare. Robinson said it was Catherine Powers, the mother of Maverick Carter. Carter is the CEO of LeBron James' marketing company, LRMR. Robinson said Powers said that LeBron James was at her house and that they wanted me to come over there. They were going to make me an offer that I couldn't refuse. It turned out that the one-of-a-kind pendant belongs to Carter, who claims it was stolen. Robinson said she and her mother went to Wadsworth House, Carter shares with his mother, believing that James was going to buy the pendant and give it back to Carter. Robinson said she and her mother drove to Carter's house in the 500 block of Caledonia Drive in her mother's pickup truck. Wadsworth police said they were called around 11:30 p.m. by a woman visiting a neighbor of Powers. According to a recording of the 911 call, the woman heard loud arguing, said she called the police at Powers' request. A Wadsworth police spokesman said Robinson and her mother had already left when they arrived on the scene. Powers was the only one there. She has the pendant. Elkinger said Carter was not at the house during the incident. A receptionist at LRMR told a local news station that Carter was unavailable for comment. Powers was not home when a reporter stopped at the house seeking an interview. The case is under investigation. Police are trying to determine if the pendant was ever reported stolen, but Robinson maintains that she could not have had the jewelry certified by the IGS if it were stolen property. The boxer vowed that her next fight will be in a court of law. In today's Green News, good news and bad news coming out of the think tank Chatham House today. According to their new report on the illegal logging and related trade, the amount of timber chopped down and produced illegally has fallen 22% since 2002 globally, with some nations seeing as much as a 75% decline. That said, the report is also noting that illegal logging remains a major problem, with illegal activities occurring in ways that are less obvious and easy to detect. Indonesia, Brazil, and Cameroon all seen big declines. A 50% reduction in illegal timber in Cameroon, a 50 to 75% drop in Brazil, and a 75% decline in Indonesia, which remains the world's third largest emitter of greenhouse gases, thanks to rampant deforestation and legal and illegal trades. In total, this level of crime reduction has meant that some 17 million hectares of forest has been preserved from deforestation and forest degradation. The report notes that as illegal logging gets reduced, less easily detected methods remain. Companies obtaining legal permits and then logging outside the boundaries of the permit, and companies illegal obtaining permits to clear land for agriculture use. There's a letter of the law and a spirit of the law. A recent further example of these types of shenanigans is highlighted in the separate report by Eyes on the Forest, which documents how the Indonesian government has continued to grant multinational paper companies rights to clear forests in areas of high conservation value, all ahead of a separate government pledge to halt new logging concessions starting in 2011. Clearly a violation of the spirit of the law, if not the letter. Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.